Hi again, Grace chatting here with the latest episode on our new series of Beyond Surviving Life with an Alcoholic Partner. Um, and as I say, that can be any challenging relationship that you've had long term, and it's been difficult to be in it, damaging, and difficult to get out of it and to stay out of it. And so, this video, we're going to focus on um, shaping a new life vision. We've looked at reclaiming your rebuilding your self-worth in our last video, and reclaiming your voice and setting boundaries. And so where we are now is you've got to build your confidence up in your decision making and trusting yourself and all of those things, and we'll get them all going. If you haven't joined Rebuild Your Life group, uh, click the link below and join, because it's a very supportive group. And we're looking at a powerful next step is for you to imagine what life would look like, and actually to create the life you want. I have created the life I want, and I am very, very happy with it. And I learned that you have to take charge of it, and you create it. Staying in a low frequency and feeling in the pits will not take you out of the pits. So once you've started rebuilding, um, you know, you have to start to embrace your own power. And it is baby steps at first. But why visioning feels difficult sometimes is because when you've spent years of surviving, and that's why I've called this series Beyond Surviving, and you come out of it and you're in a dip, or you're still in it and you're in a dip, and you realize you've lost yourself, and you kind of think, is this it? Is this it? And actually, it will be it if you don't do something, if you don't take charge of it. But the point is here, you're not used to weaving a dream and reconnecting with the dreams you used to have about what kind of a life you would have. And, the thing is, if you count on somebody else making your dreams come true, well, there's a big chance that it's not going to happen. You gotta build some self-reliance, self-resilience, self-trust, self-acceptance, self-responsibility. And your mental energy has been focused on keeping the pace, managing crisis, firefighting, or just getting through the day. So when the chaos dies down, you're left with silence and questions. Is this it? So it's common, it's normal, and it's part of healing. But you have to move on. And there is a scripture, without coming religion at you, but it's a psychological principle. Without a progressive vision, the people perish. Now, when you were in that terrible relationship, and maybe when you still are, there is you don't have a progressive relationship, or the progressive vision might be just getting out and getting free, and that feels like progress, and it is. And even if you're still in it, reclaiming your life, even though it feels like my life's being lived for me, it's up to you. It's an inside job to reconnect with yourself and begin to shape a new vision for your life. So how do you do that? Well, as I've mentioned in one or two of the other videos, you do have to reconnect with some of your old uh, the ways that things that you loved before you were in the relationship. It might have been gardening, it might have been writing, painting, dancing, yoga, walks in nature, any of those things. Revisit things that brought you peace and joy, even if they feel small. You have to take baby steps, and they're clues to your authentic self. Anything that you loved and you enjoyed engaging in. Reconnect with it and reconnect with the joy that you felt with it. You can do this. And secondly, you can visualize a day in your ideal life. So either go for a walk in nature. I would suggest a walk in nature if you can. Some of you maybe have mobility issues and might not find it quite so easy to go for a walk in nature. But just sit quietly and imagine waking up in your ideal life. Imagine you go to bed and you're waking up and a miracle has happened and it's your ideal day. Now, this is a great thing to journal. And what does it look like? Where are you? Who are you with? What do you feel in your body? What's around you? What do you see? What do you hear? What do you touch? What do you taste? Just sit quietly and imagine what would your miracle look like. And it's not about being realistic. It's about awakening to possibilities. It is a possibility. The life I have now it would have seemed like an absolute out and out miracle to me. It would have been like heaven. And that's what I experience day by day. My life is so happy. It feels like heaven to me. And if I wind back to when I was in a situation where you are, it just seemed like impossible. But bit by bit, all of these things that I'm telling you, if you put them into place and you just do it step by step by step, it will happen. You need to connect into the power of imagination and visualization. And as I've said too, one of the things is journaling. Write it down, create a joy list. Write down 20 things that bring you joy, big or small. For me, one of the things that brings me joy is having a lovely, warm shower. Because there are hundreds of thousands of people in the world, bless them, who haven't got the luxury of water to wash themselves. They haven't got the luxury of water to drink, never mind water to wash themselves with, never mind warm water to just stand and allow it to run. And I never take it for granted, and I really appreciate it. And I relish that water running on my skin. I relish stepping into a warm bathroom. I relish a soft towel to dry myself with. I relish these chairs to sit on and these clothes to wear. I really relish it. They're all things, even, dare I say it, having toilet paper. I really appreciate it. So start to make a list, however small and however mundane and everyday. Write down the things that, if you can imagine, some of these poor refugees would be delighted, and see if you can tap into the joy that you can feel in with your everyday life, and start building on the good. Set intentional goals, not just tasks, not just things to do. So instead of get a job, think build financial freedom, doing something that energizes me. I have built over the years financial freedom for myself by being a therapist, a coach, a family mediator, and it didn't all drop into my lap. I did it a step at a time, but I enjoy learning. I love to learn and I love to pass it on. And so I have generated an income and financial freedom doing something that I love, that I enjoy, that energizes me. So shifting from obligation to intention, um, and actually, when I first set this intention, I had nothing. Well, maybe from a relative or absolute point of view. I had a place to live, and I had clothes, and I had food, and I had basics, but I didn't have much spare. So design a supportive environment. I have said to you before, having a safe space to express yourself and your needs and your wants, and think who lifts you up, who are the people who are supportive with you, what places inspire you, what routines help you to thrive. Intentionally design your life to reinforce your vision, to build in a vision of a life with supportive people and inspiring people. You might notice, on my online, I will go and do training in Corfu. I've recently been training with Mark Wolin in Corfu. I've recently been on a retreat in California. I'm able to do that now. That was part of my longer term vision, to learn from the best in the world and to have time freedom and financial freedom to do that and to learn from the best in the world and to pass it on to you who are listening to this. So don't be afraid to have a dream. If you're going to have a dream, you might as well have a big one. And just take one brave step. And it doesn't have to be huge. It might be applying for a class. My one brave step was applying here in the UK to do an advanced A-level GCE. And that was way back in the 1990s. Sharing your story in a group, whether that's Al-Anon or an online group, Rebuild Your Life group, or planning a trip. Just whatever. Action fuels momentum. You need to take some action, even if it's an online course, or part of an online group, which doesn't cost anything. So what might stop you from doing that or get in the way? Well, it can be fear of failure or disappointment. You can be inured, being fearful about in various different ways, and afraid to start something. When I was going back into deciding I needed to go back into higher education, if I was ever going to be financially viable and able to stand on my own 2 feet, I needed to do it. But I was fearful that I would fail, because it was difficult. But nobody says it's going to be easy. Just do it. And some people feel a bit guilty because they want more than they have. But we're talking about your future. It's not a case of wanting for one's sake. It's about growing and developing yourself to be all that you may be. And then another thing that holds us back is conditioning that says, well, you don't deserve it. You don't deserve to do these classes. You don't deserve to have a degree. You don't deserve to be a professional person. Of course you do. You do deserve it. And the other thing that can get in the way is a habitual focus on listening to what other people say, and attending to other people's needs before your own. There comes a point in time when, if you're a wife and if you're a mother, and especially if you've got dependent children, you need to see to their needs. But there does come a point in time when they are young adults and growing adults, when they've got to stand on their 2 feet. And it might not be easy for them. And there might be things that they'll look back on their life with you that was difficult. As I can look back, most people can look back on a life that was difficult, but you have to get over it. It was a training ground. It was an apprenticeship. So you have to affirm you have permission to want. So creating a vision is not being selfish. It's sacred. It's what you're on the planet for. And as you enter this phase, remember, you're not betraying anybody by dreaming and having a dream and finally, honoring yourself. Um, that's what you're here for, to do that, to be, living your best life. And it's not all measured in terms of money and success out there. It's success in here. I think it's Tony Robbins who said, success without success, fulfillment is not success. And I agree with that. You need to look at how to feel fulfilled, and it's not just about status and money and things. So if you find this helpful or useful, click like, subscribe, and please leave your comments below. As I say, I need encouragement too. So let me know how this landed for you. And in our next post, we'll look at how do you turn your vision into grounded, achievable steps so you can begin living it one day at a time. So thank you for listening, and bye for now.